Hello, everyone. Yes, it's Freestyle Friday right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we are so excited to have you guys here with us today. Go ahead and grab your virtual seats. When we have our experts come on, I have to get started right away because there's so much information. So we're going to go ahead and pop today's show off. And everybody, let us know where you're coming in from as soon as you get in your virtual seats. We know we just opened the doors. So you're like, Kim, don't even try it. I cannot believe you're already starting. But we have to start in order to have a great episode today. So let's go ahead and get everything started. Sean Braxton, I'll pull you in right now. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone. It is the Kim Jacobs Show, and we are here today in the studio with quite a few experts that have some great information to share with you all. Today, first of all, is Wear Something Blue Day, National Dress in Blue Day. I just found that out from Michelle Major. So I know I couldn't tell you guys because I just finished walking. Right? Anyway, I just found that out right when I finished doing my walk. And when I can take my glasses off because I'm not reading anything right now. But anyway, when I was doing my walk. Oh, look at you, Sean. Way to go.
I always got a sport coat in my office. You never know what you're going to need. You
always got that blue sport coat. So I threw something on blue once I checked that. Thank you so much, Michelle, for keeping me informed about all the national days. It's also National Recognize Your Employee Day. So if you all have employees out there, make sure you recognize your employees and thank them for all of their hard work. I know that the team with the Kim Jacobs Show, they do a phenomenal job. I don't take it for granted. I'm super grateful. And guess what, everybody? You know how Oprah said, you get a car. Well, I can't give everybody a car. But guess what? You get business cards and you're going to get a business card. You're going to get a business card. So everyone on the Kim Jacobs team, you're going to get your business cards soon. Shannon's working on it for us. Okay. All right. So our first expert today is Deborah Lofton, and we're going to hear from her and see what she wants to talk to us about this morning. Make sure you tag your friends and invite them in. Hello, Deborah Lofton.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on, Kim. And today I'm excited about the tips that I have for today. My tip today will be 7 tips, in fact, on becoming a happy you. And so many times we have so many things going on until we just forget to be happy with ourselves. So we're going to have the tips today on becoming a happy you. And everything that I do is Bible-based, God-based. So I'll always have a scripture to bring to you. But today, the first thing that you need to do to be a happy person, to be a happy you, is to put God first. If you prioritize God and put him first in your life, you will have a happy life. He is your status number one. Every decision you make, everything that you do should be centered around God and what he wants for you. And you will be a happy you if you have God first in your life. Number 2, the one thing that we forget to ask sometimes is to ask God for wisdom. So many times we're plagued with so many decisions. We have things that we need to do. We have things that we need to accomplish. And we have no idea how to start these things, how to go forward, how to put a team together. So ask God for wisdom. And the greatest example that I can think of is Solomon. Solomon asked God for wisdom. And God asked Solomon a question, first of all, in a dream. And he said, ask what I will do for you. Ask for what you want. And Solomon, I read through the scripture and I never saw where Solomon said, well, God, I'm going to ask you for this. I'm going to ask you for riches. God, I want you to do this for me. I'm going to ask you for this. So he asked for wisdom and understanding. And guess what? When he asked for that, it impressed God. And so he became the wisest man that ever lived. There's nobody else that we can compare with Solomon. He was so wise because of the way he acts and because he impressed God. So ask for wisdom. Number 3, love yourself. You are the first person that you should be in love with, you, the beautiful you. No matter how you look, no matter what's going on with you, you should love yourself. Who you are right now, you should be in love with yourself. Love the things that are about you, that God has placed in you. Love the beauty that's within you. Love the compassion that you have, all the characteristics. Just sit down and write down the things that are beautiful about you and love yourself. Number 4, write an affirmation and create a proverb. Write an affirmation about who you are. I am the beautiful person. I am a woman of God. I am a man of God. I am chosen. I am. So put who you are in that affirmation. And every day remind yourself, put it somewhere that you can look at it and remind yourself who you are. Write an affirmation, write a proverb, create your own proverb. If we look at Proverbs, it was created by who? The wisest man that ever lived. So God gives you wisdom in order to create a proverb. So for you to create things that will be your little sayings, the things that will you can go back to time after time, the little pieces of advice that you have for yourself and for your children. So create proverbs. Number 5, forgive quickly. And one of the worst things that we can do is to take things to bed with us, take things into the next day. We need to forgive people even when they don't ask you to forgive. This is a way that you will create a happy you when you are a forgiving person. When you don't hold any anger inside of you, you don't hold any of the grudges inside of you, you don't have these things in your mind constantly. So forgive quickly. And as I said, even if people don't ask you to forgive anyway. While you're walking away from that person who just insulted you, say, well, Lord, help me to forgive that person. And within your heart, forgive them. And that means forgetting about it, not going over, rehearsing it. Sometimes we want to rehearse the hurt that we have inside of us, and over for some reason, we seem to just feast and eat off of that hurt. But forgive and move on and forget about it. Number 6, have a go-to phrase. Have one phrase that works for you when you're in distress, when you're in a bad situation, when you don't know how you're going to make it, when it's a bad day. Just have a phrase that is your go-to phrase. My go-to phrase is, Lord, give me strength. There are so many times when I'm working on my job and I come up against something that's a challenge, and I just repeat the words, Lord, give me strength. Or if I'm out doing something and it's strenuous and it's taking all of my energy and I'm tired and I want to give up, and my word is, Lord, give me strength. And I find that God hears that little short, quick prayer because we have that connection between God and me, and he understands what I mean when I say, give me strength. And number 7 is so important. And number 7 is the best thing that you can do. The best tip I can give for becoming a happy you after all of those other things is to rest. Many times we don't take the time to just rest. And I took the example from God in Genesis. He created everything in 6 days, and on the 7th day, he rested. That was a clue to us that we need rest. If God needed to rest, we need rest. So those are my 7 tips to becoming a happy you. Put God first, ask for wisdom, love yourself, write an affirmation, and create a proverb.
Wait. I want to put them up with you going through them right quick. So I'm like, wait. Give me a second.
Okay.
I want to go back because some people are just joining the broadcast. So the 7 tips of wisdom that Mother Deborah Lofton shared today, go ahead and repeat them and I'll click them up as you go.
Okay. Put God first, ask for wisdom, love yourself, write an affirmation or a proverb, create proverbs, forgive quickly, have a go-to phrase that gets you out of a sticky situation, and rest. So those are my 7 tips for becoming a happy you.
That's awesome. Okay, well, everybody's like, yes. If you want to be a happier you, make sure you take some of these tips and put them into action here on this Freestyle Friday. Deborah Lofton, how can people stay connected with you?
You can follow me on my website. I have a website that is bountifuloutreach.com. There's a blog there, and I blog every morning the word that God gives to me, and it has been blessing so many people. So go to my blog at bountifuloutreach.com. Also, I'm on Facebook, and I have my own Bountiful Harvest page on my Facebook page, the Bountiful Harvest page as well on Facebook. Twitter, also Deborah_Lofton on Twitter as well. So follow me.
Wow.
Amen.
Wow.
Promise you, man.
Bountifuloutreach.com. You want to hear this blog, read this blog every day. She gives a
Yes.
word that is inspired by the Lord that he puts in her spirit. And definitely go check that out. Bountifuloutreach.com. And lots of comments came in. I want to pop some of those comments up. People said, Claretha said, praise God. Awesome. We need that rest. Your sister says, Evangelist Clara Walton, rest. Yes, we do. We need rest. Lots of comments have come in. Amen. Forgiving. Amen, Sister Deborah Lofton. Okay. Somebody else said forgive quickly, even if they don't apologize, and then move on. Paula Shea Queen says, amen. And you know what? I want to make sure I say this too. Thank you all for all of the authors that gave an online contribution to the Kim Jacobs Show. I appreciate you all sending that contribution. So if anybody ever wants to contribute to the Kim Jacobs Show, look at it right down there. It's constantly running throughout the broadcast, and we don't take it for granted. We thank you, and I definitely give shout outs to those that do that. I really appreciate it. Okay. So lots of additional comments. She said, amen. Courtney said, wow, forgive quickly. That is a good word, Mother Lofton. Very, very good word. Okay. I didn't want to leave anybody out that's been commenting right along throughout the broadcast. Put God first. And so I think she's practiced broadcast. They actually are typing your points. My mom is on. She said, good morning, everyone. Looking forward to a happy Friday, Freestyle Friday. All right. Wow.
Yes.
The whole episode. Let's go over to Sean Braxton. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing great. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. Why do you put me on after her? She's so positive. And I come on with political and racism stuff.
That's why I did that.
I'm gonna go back and talk about my kids.
Inspiration and then put some politics.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do like I did a couple weeks ago and just talk about my kids because that's positive, man. I was like, man, I was coming in with all this because I saw Deshaun Hall wasn't gonna be on, so I said, I guess I'll do the political stuff today. I come on after Ms. Lofton, and oh my gosh, I feel bad. I was like, I don't want to do this. But look, it's been a crazy week in politics. You've seen, the QAnon people have continued their conspiracy theories and their prophecies of the fact that because the inauguration historically at one point in our time in our nation's history was accomplished on March 4th, they said that President Biden wasn't really the president and that he was just on a Hollywood set, not in the real White House, and that on March 4th, 45, I don't even like to say his name, 45 was going to be back in office and inaugurated, right? So all of these things came into play. So with that stated, there was a uptick in the National Guard, guarding the city of Washington, D.C., as well as around other areas of the nation because of their concern for issues in terms of, possible rioting. So all these things occurred. Of course, yesterday was March 4th. It came and it went. And guess what? President Biden is still President Biden, right? But I will say this, there is a true fundamental shift that's going on in American politics. And those that have traditionally had the power are not doing a very good job of dealing with it, right? So let's just call it what it is. And this change is causing, you're seeing that those that have been traditionally minorities in this nation now make up the majority because you have a multiplicity of minorities coming together now are the majority. And so it's causing a real fundamental shift in terms of how politics is done in this nation. And we saw that with the state of Georgia in electing Senator Ossoff and Senator Warnock into the Senate. And now that's caused a major shift in terms of now that there is, a Democratic presidency, right. There's a Democratic House, and there's a Democratic Senate. So we've got all these things in play causing these shifts. And so now we have the COVID relief bill and all these things that are in play that's impacting, which is causing some major issues. So anyway, real quick, let's go back to the CPAC, which is the Conservative Political Action Conference that they just had last week. As you know, 45 came out and spoke, and all of the conservatives spoke. One thing I wanted to bring out in that was the Odal rune, right? And I don't know if I'm even saying it correctly, but it's one of the, I'm gonna read this because I want to make sure I have it correct.
Okay.
It's one of the many Nordic rune symbols that has been co-opted by the radical right. The Odal rune was used as a badge by the S5 during World War II and is a decidedly fascist symbol as seen when the National Socialist Movement decided to redesign their flag in late 2016. And they actually took out the swastika. But if you take a look at the Odal rune, and Kim, I don't know if you got my email in time to bring it up, but if you could bring that picture up, I want you to take a look at it and realize that they have incorporated the swastika and the Odal rune in one. Now understand that as we are, moving forward with this real radical right? They like to talk about the radical left, but it's really the radical right. There have been studies that have shown that the most prevalent issue that we have in today's United States is domestic terrorism by white supremacists. So we have to be very, very cognizant of what's going on with this political shift, as well as the racial boundaries and things that are that have occurred. So I just wanted to bring that up so you see what's going on there. Now let's talk about what's happening in my wonderful state of Georgia with some of the House bills and Senate bills that have gone on in our internal state legislature. So House Bill, I think 531. So there are several things that have been incorporated or they're have voted on. One is no Sunday voting, voting only 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Required ID for mail-in ballots, no at-will mail-in ballot voting, excuse me. And illegal to give anyone standing in line food or drink while they're waiting to vote. Now, mind you, there were situations where people were waiting anywhere between 3 and 10 hours to vote, whether the presidential election or the state and local elections. So those things are very critical in terms of they're setting things up for 2022 and 2024. So anyone, again, like I said before, if you're not into politics, you might want to get started and get interested in politics, because it's the local politics that actually affect your day-to-day living, right? We all get excited about national elections because they're sexy, right? When President Obama ran in 2008 and in 2012, that was sexy, right? Calmed down in 2016, and we saw what we had to deal with for the following 4 years. And it got sexy again. So now we've got President Biden and Vice President Harris in office. Well, guess what? 2022 and 2024 are really going to shape the remainder, the future of this country. So everyone needs to understand that all of these things are prevalent and important, that we get involved in our local elections, because that is what affects you on a day-to-day basis as you go around your respective town. And I'll say this one last thing. Out of 159 counties in Georgia, 107 found that 11.8% of Black voters voted on the weekends, because typically they don't have the same types of jobs where they can just get off. So when they're off, they're not getting paid. So they wait until, right before the polls close, or they do it on early voting or during the weekends. So if you eliminate that, or you make it more difficult for them to vote, then of course, that's where the turnout goes down. And of course, things shift in terms of, who becomes, senators, mayors, presidents, et cetera, within the nation, as well as your local elections. So I just wanted to bring that to light. Keep these things in mind. Get involved locally, get involved nationally, get involved in your state. Just get involved, because this thing is now not what it used to be, right? And we've shown that when the masses come out to vote, we know what the majority of this country really wants, and the direction that the majority of this country wants the country to go. And so we need to make sure that we are a part of this. You can't just sit back anymore and say, I'm not involved in politics, I don't get into politics. That doesn't wash any longer.
Wow.
Just put it out there. Now
Wow,
I feel so
wow.
negative. I'm sorry, Miss Lofton. I love you. Can we go back to Miss Lofton, please? And now I feel like gotta go take a shower.
Yeah, that was that was, you know what? The interesting part is, believe it or not, everything about being a happier you is relevant and needed for people with all that's been going on with coronavirus and the death of over 500,000 people. That's a lot of folks. We need to figure out how we can be happier in today's society, but equally, we also need to know what's happening in the political realm. And you're doing a great job of sharing that with us from that political expert opinion and sharing the facts and doing it in a non-biased manner. I really appreciate both. So thank you. Let's see. Some of the comments did come in for you, Sean. People laugh. Practice broadcast when you said, "Oh man, I should have talked about my kids today instead of politics after mother law." Okay, let's see. Good wording. Been a minute. Good morning. Been a minute. Been a minute. Yes, talk about the kids, Courtney said. Because that was when you first came on and made that comment. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Lydia, she says she's working on her marketing for her book. So that was some good tips that's been sharing. Praise God. Praise God. Deception is a tactic of the enemy. So that's amazing. Some of the things that you were sharing that I know, I didn't even know that. So the education is important. Exactly. Practice Broadcast said the wrong people have been in power for too long. Irene, thank you so much for watching from Georgia. And Lydia said the enemy is deceiving. Eve planting a seed of doubt, and he's still using the same tactics, just at a different level, talking about politics is what Lydia's talking about. Oh, somebody said they were watching with you, Deborah. Mary, she said, I'm watching with you, Deborah. Lydia said, that's ridiculous. All of the information that you're sharing is just totally ridiculous, Sean. It's amazing. Those conservative Georgians lawmakers are petty, according to the Practice Broadcast. You can feel free to chime in on anything if you want. Okay, Lotus Richey said, great show. Hey, Lotus Richey. If you guys haven't checked out Lotus Richey's show, go check it out. It's news you can use. And also Lotus Richey Ignites. All you have to do is you see that pretty picture right there. Just follow her and you'll be able to be connected with both of her broadcasts, and they are incredible. And she always brings on international guests. Go ahead, Sean.
Comment on that. She said that the conservative legislators are petty. Yes, and I think that's one of the things that many of us have seen over the course of the last few months, the last year or so, right? But as that shift occurred and Georgia, changed the balance of power in the Senate and overall in Congress, we saw immediately how quickly they went into action to change the laws, because they knew that they had the majority in both houses in the state legislature, right? So at that point, they went to work because they knew that they could win. They didn't have to have a super majority. They didn't have to have 66% to win. All they needed was a majority, and they had that already. So they knew that that was going to be the case. So because Georgia is predominantly conservative as a state, as a whole, now they went ahead and they enacted this legislation. But now what we need to do and understand is that, okay, we see what they're trying to do and what they're going to do, which is, disenfranchising a large majority component of the population. That is the key. If they can disenfranchise and they can cause you to not vote, right, or make it more difficult for you to vote, now we've got a problem. And now they can go back to doing what they were doing. And understand that in 2022, I believe Senator Warnock is back up for re-election, because the seat that they had was actually one that was just filled. So he has to be go back up for a re-election. So that's not going to be, a 4 or 6 year seat. That's going to be 2 years. He has to go back up for re-election. So those things are imperative, because again, that could reshift the balance of power in Congress. So we can't just sit back on our laurels. We have to continue to go out and make the movement more than a moment. We have to continue doing the things that we were doing and be even stronger in our voices, because our voices have power. And we realized that this last, in January, when we had that runoff election, it's key. It's key.
Well, more comments are in the comments section, so make sure you take a moment to go back maybe later after the broadcast, Sean, and people may still have some more questions.
Can I answer Lydia's question?
Yes, please.
No, that's the answer to that question. They can't make you, or they can't make employees let you off the boat, which is the reason why currently it's from 7 to 7, right? So you're in that window where most people are able to get to the polls, right? So as long as you're in line before the polls close, you can vote. As long as you're in line. So even if the door closes at 7 o'clock, as long as you're in that line, you can still vote. So that line can be 3 hours long and the poll will not close until 10 o'clock, which is why you see some polls don't come in with their numbers until later, right? Wow. As long as you're in line. So now if you only have from 9 to 5, now you're cutting off 4 hours additionally where people can vote.
Wow. This is just great information. So very much needed. And I'm very grateful for what you're sharing. A lot of people still say they're watching with us. I'm so glad to have you all today in the studio audience. I see you, Joseph, too, back in the studio as well. Listen, thank you so much, Sean. How can people stay connected with you?
You can reach me at Brack to You on Instagram. You can reach me, Sean Braxton, on Facebook. You also can reach me at BRACK on Facebook, which stands for Basic Revelations After Conversations.
Okay, so you said Brack to You, BRACK?
BRACK, the number 2 and the letter U.
Okay, on Instagram and on Facebook as well?
On Facebook is Sean Braxton.
Okay.
And you also can reach me. I have a private page there as well, which is BRACK. Excuse me, BRAC, not the K, no K. BRAC, which is it stands for Basic Revelations After Conversations.
Oh, that's good. So you know what? The thing is, I'm putting this up because I know I've been on your page and you've had some really healthy, hearty discussions pertaining to politics. So make sure you guys check him out at Brack to You on Instagram and Sean Braxton. And then there's also BRAC, which is an acronym that you can follow him there on Facebook. So thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
Sean. Okay, let's go over to Vicki L. Evans, and I'm going to put you right here front and center, Vicki. And before you start talking, I am going to give everyone a chance to just have a quick commercial break. But on this commercial break, I want you to know that today's episode, let me put myself, you're like, Lord, don't be leaving me up here while you talking. Vicki, I can see your face. You're like, okay, move me over. You're like, I'll talk to you about this later, Kim. All right, everybody, listen. Today's episode is sponsored by Snow Legal Group, snowlegal.com. If you have some issues regarding personal injury and all kinds of different services, it doesn't even have to be personal injury. They are a great law firm and eager to take your case and look into whether they can service your needs. 704-358-0026, or you can email them at info@snowlegal.com and make sure that you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everybody. We are back here with this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and it is Freestyle Friday. So we have experts here talking to you about all kinds of things. Now we're going to talk with Vicki L. Evans. And Vicki, tell us what you have for us today.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time on Freestyle Friday, so I am so excited. So I greet everyone. Again, my name is Vicki. I usually put the L on. It's not there, right? Vicki L. Evans. And I always describe myself as a woman who wears many hats. So therefore, that's the reason I have the hats on today, the hat on. First of all, I am an entrepreneur. I have a nonprofit organization called Performing Arts and Literary Society, and we advocate for social justice using the performing arts, and inspirational books. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the plays that I do. And everything I do is a life learned lesson. So it's something that can affect everyone, you know. So I wanted to tell you about my first play. It's called A Change Is Gonna Come, and it deals with domestic violence. And it doesn't just deal with domestic violence, it deals with domestic violence in the church. You won't believe this, but 1 in 4 Christian couples experience domestic violence in the church. And so we highlight this, put it in an entertaining platform so that you can receive the information and also have a call to action so that we can go out and help people who may be experiencing that. My next play is called The Gift, and it's about, and actually Kim was actually in that play. The Gift is about homelessness and what we're going through right now, the pandemic. A lot of people are experiencing homelessness in our cities as well. We got Tent City, and this particular play highlights how we should treat the homeless, because a lot of times we see them on the street and we pass them by and we turn up our nose and we look at them differently. But this play highlights that they too can help you. It's about a bishop who is mugged en route to a Christmas revival, whom he is actually the guest speaker. And it's a Good Samaritan story. His peers pass him by. In fact, the very folks that invited him pass him by. But the homeless folks, there's a bag lady, there's an ex-pro football player who is down on his luck, and all of them end up on the street, and runaway teenager. They all help him. They feed him. They offer him a sleeping bag, and some gifts come in unexpected packages. And the reason that I talk about this is because it is such a time where we need to reach out to our homeless neighbors, treat them like they need to be treated. Just realize, even if you could take a blanket or something to help them out, this is the time. And we're going through such a terrible time from the pandemic. We know last year was just a trying time for everyone. All of us is just one paycheck away from homelessness. And so last year, it really tested us on how we can survive through hard times. And I truly can admit right now, I am a survivor of so many things. Survivor of domestic violence. I had domestic violence in my home. So I am a survivor of so many things. So today I'm coming with an encouraging word, just letting you know that you can survive whatever circumstances or condition you're in, you can survive. So right now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of the books that I've written as well. Mother Lofton talked about forgiving. My first book is called The Art of Forgiving. Let me see if I can put it up here so you can see I'm always kind of backwards inflicted when it comes to putting stuff on screen. Upside down. Okay, there we go. So can you see that? No, wrong hand. That way.
Yeah.
There we go. Art of Forgiving.
And I have all of your books too. I purchased all of them, but I don't have them right in my hand, but I have them all. And they are out.
Art of Forgiving. And this book, and like I said, they are all life learned lessons. I went through a terrible divorce. And so you know how we like to hold on to grudges because he did this to me and all of this. This book right here is about forgiving and how forgiving is beneficial to you. It's beneficial to you because when you let go and let God, and then you can invite things and your heart is so much better. You feel so much better. You can help more people. And then not only that, you can go on and find the love of your life if you want to again, but you cannot take baggage from one relationship to the other. So I want to co-sign what Mother Lofton said. Forgiving is so important. And the first priority is for you. It will help you. All right. My second book, because of the domestic violence that I experienced and the things that I went through. Let's see if I could do this again this way. The things that I went through, I had very low self-esteem, very, very, very low self-esteem. And a lot of people today are suffering from that. One big point I make in this book is that overachieving sometimes can be a sign of low self-esteem, just because, a lot of people think if you walk around your head down and all of that, that's the only signs of low self-esteem. Overachievers have low self-esteem too, because they're trying to prove to other people that I am worth it. So the one thing that I learned and I talk about in this particular book is that you are worth it. I don't care what you've gone through, what you've been through. You got to know your worth, and that you're valuable no matter what you've gone through, no matter who you are. God created you for purpose and design, and you are so valuable. So let's lift up them self-esteems. Let's just lift it up. Let's walk with our head up high and know that you have purpose, you are loved, and you are more than a thousand T's in China. How can I say it like that? $1 million. You're worth than $1 million, but you're worth than $1 billion. So that's one of the things that I emphasize in that book. And you got to have millionaire mentality. You got to think it. In order to be it, and as Michelle Obama said, in order to become it, you have to think it. So, and one of my other things is that because I'm left-handed, so I'm flicking. So I don't know what side to put this stuff on. Because I am a playwright, I wrote this book, How to Produce an Award-Winning Play, the Non-Conventional Way. And let me tell you what the non-conventional way is: by faith. Everything that I've done is by faith. Non-conventional means by faith. I tell you how my first play, how God gave me divine instructions. Like he did Solomon, how to build the temple. He gave me divine instructions from point A to point B, how to get the venue, how to fill the seats. And for those people who are sitting down waiting until they have the money, the funds to do something, I signed a contract with $0. Yes, I said $0. That's how big my face was. With $0, I signed a contract, and I'm here to tell you that production sold out. We filled 250 seats, and we had to turn people away. Sold out. Why? Because when God gives you a word, when he gives you instructions, if you follow those instructions, there's no way you can lose. No way you can lose. And so that particular book is about that. It also tells you how my next play, the same play, A Change is Gonna Come, how we went to a theater in Washington, D.C. called the Lincoln Theater. Now, the first I said was 275 seats. God told me 1,200 seats. Go to the Lincoln Theater. Same situation. Wrote that contract, didn't have the money, and we had 2 nights performances, 2 nights. The first night, over 800 people showed up. I'm here to tell you that you can do it by faith. By faith. Who is your faith in? Faith in God. You can do it. I'm telling you, I've done it. I've been places and I've done plays in places that I only dreamed of. And no, my budget was very, very low. Very, very low. But with God, how many of you can witness you can do all things through who? Through Christ that does what? Strengthen you. If you stand on the word of God, I'm telling you, listen, everywhere I go, I talk about what God has done for me, because if you stand on the word of God, I am here to tell you, you won't fail. I'm here to tell you that his track record is 100%. He's never failed. He's never lost a case. So I'm here to tell you that if you're in business, put your business in God's hand. Whatever you do, put it in God's hands. I'm not here to tell. I'm here to tell you that I've had failures. Yes, I have. I've had troubles. Yes, I have. That's why I'm writing the books, because I've gone through things. I have experiences, circumstances. Sometimes things went well. Sometimes it didn't. But the constant thing in my life is that God, He is whatever. Fill in the blank. God is. Fill in the blank. Whatever you want him to be, fill in the blank. I'm telling you that.
Outstanding.
So,
Well,
my very, very last point, and I'm finished now. This Saturday, I will be releasing my fourth book. Fourth. It's called Gracefully Broken.
well, I got that one, by the way. Let me say that. Okay, right there. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Kim will be interviewing me. I'm so excited about that. This Saturday, March the 6th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. I will be releasing my fourth book. It's an anthology written with 3 other ladies that I'm so proud of. We talk about my chapters on suicide, but there's chapter in there on divorce, on cancer, sexual assault, and my chapter is how I survived. I am a 4-time suicide survivor. 4 times. And so I talk about those suicide attempts. Over 800,000 people per year they die of suicide. I could have been 801. So I tell you about my experience, and once again, I tell you about my experience and how the Lord saved me from that mindset. The very last one that I had, and you come on Saturday, I would tell you about it. The very last one I had is what turned my life around, because the Lord intervened on my behalf. And so I haven't tried that since. So this Saturday, I hope to see you. If you go on my personal page, Vicki Linnell Evans, there's information about how you can join us on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I know Kim is global. She got folks all over. So it's Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to have a good time. Like I said, Kim is going to interview me. One of my cast members, Cassandra O'Neill, is going to sing my favorite song, No Matter. I'm going to read the chapter from my book. And then you'll have an opportunity to purchase the book for the first time as well. So thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And just remember, you are loved more than you know.
Well, thank you so much, Vicki. Thank you. Very inspiring. Vicki L. Evans, her website is VickiLEvans.com. Make sure you stay connected with her. If you want to send her an email and share your personal story, VickiLEvans@gmail.com. Her phone number is 704-312-0575. Thank you, Vicki. I put a lot of the comments up while you were talking because I got to go to the next guest, but make sure you check out the comments because people have said some very inspiring things, and you definitely want to follow up with them because they've asked some specific questions too. So Joseph Wooten, take it away. And I see you, Courtney, and my time pulling y'all on the screen right now as well. All right. Go ahead. Oh, wait, you're muted, Joseph. Wait a minute, you playing and we don't even hear. Wait. Go. Now.
Hey, everybody. My name is Joseph Wooten, a.k.a. The Hands of Soul. I'm down here in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's a good thing, Kim, that my mic is muted, because when Sean is talking politics, I want to jump in. If we ever sit in the same room, we're going to talk for 47 hours. And everybody's just so inspiring. All the other guests start talking, and I just want to jump in. And once again, I feel like Sean, I'm coming behind somebody that's so inspirational. And what do I have to talk about? History, right? So I'll try to make it interesting. And also, Kim, I went and I got my blue scarf, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like texting my wife, get me my blue
Just so everybody knows, today is National Wear Something Blue Day. And so I found that out from Michelle Major. She shares those tips with me. Thanks, Michelle.
So if you're wondering why I'm wearing a t-shirt and a scarf, that's why. But anyway, with history, since it was Black History Month and we're moving into the month of the woman, I figured I'd try to make my history go from one to the other. We'll start with Harriet Tubman, who pretty much familiar with. Grandma Moses, who rescued a bunch of people, rescued a bunch of slaves from the slave South to freedom. Initially, the freedom was going to Pennsylvania, but eventually they had to go all the way to Canada. Right? She was born Araminta Ross in Maryland around the same time as Frederick Douglass. There's some evidence that when she was helping some escape, they actually stayed at Frederick Douglass's house, but nobody can really corroborate that because obviously they were pretty secretive. What a lot of people don't recognize is that Harriet Tubman, at the end of her career, was for women's suffrage, for giving women the right to vote. She fought for that till the day she died. She died in 1913, which was the same year that Rosa Parks was born. Rosa Louise Macaulay, and we know her as the first lady of the freedom movement who refused to give up her seat in the segregated bus. She wasn't the first one, but the NAACP, the freedom movement wanted an example and the right person to take on that cause. So they chose Rosa Parks, who was an officer in the civil rights movement. And of course, the bus boycott happened, lasted for a year, and it overturned segregation in the South. What a lot of people don't realize was that bus boycott was not the idea of Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks. It was actually the idea of a women's group called the WPC, the Women's Political Council. Joanne Robinson, Mary Fairbanks, Irene West, Thelma Glass, and Ureta Adair. And there were a women's group in the South that helped rape victims, help organize voting, civic activities. They were upstanding Black women trying to move culture forward. And they were the ones that actually had the idea for the bus boycott that wound up being assigned to Martin Luther King. He got the credit for that. And truthfully, in the civil rights movement, that was a complaint. In that women were, the complaint was that women were active, but men were actually the ones getting the credit. So even in the civil rights movement, it wasn't perfect as far as men's rights and women's rights. But obviously, they were there for us and did what they needed to do. The person that I was surprised to learn about, I read this book recently. I just finished this book, Uncomfortable Conversations with the Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. I recommend that book. It's very good. I was surprised how good it was. And in that book, I learned about a woman named Juliet Hampton Morgan. Juliet Hampton Morgan was a white woman born to aristocracy. She was a seventh generation white Southerner from Alabama. One of her relatives was from the old Confederacy, a Confederate general, and she could have been driving. She could have driven, but she had anxiety, so she rode public transportation. And on the public transportation, she saw the treatment of Black people, and she couldn't take it as this aristocrat. So Black women or Black people used to have to pay for the bus. They give the dime, and then they'd have to get off the bus and walk in the back door to go sit in the back. This particular day, it was raining. The Black woman gives her dime. She goes to get in the back. The bus driver pulls off, leaves this Black woman in the rain. So Juliet Hampton Morgan couldn't stand it. She gets up, pulls the emergency brake, right? And lets the Black woman back on the bus. And she would do that repeatedly when there was wrongdoing to Black women or to Black people. Eventually, she started writing about it in the newspaper, and that gave her great consternation in the city of Montgomery, Alabama. You can imagine in the 20s, or the 20s, 30s, 40s, and you're a white woman writing about Black people and how they're not treated well. She advocated for the boycott. She wrote about the boycott. She wrote about the dignity of the boycott and how Black people in the South were more disciplined than even Gandhi. And of course, She was shunned by her family. She was shunned by the community. Windows were broken. Crosses burned on her lawn. She got the treatment. She may as well have been black. She was a white woman. How dare she help these black people?
Wow.
But she was fragile because, again, she was riding the city bus because she had anxiety, too much anxiety to drive. So eventually what happened, she's working at the library, and they kept demanding that the library fire her. And the library was like, she has free speech. Library was advocates for free speech. So the mayor pulled the funding for the library, trying to force them to have to get rid of her position. Because if you don't have funding, you got to get rid of somebody. They'll get rid of her. They didn't. She continued to write. They continued to harass her, burn flags, et cetera, et cetera. And eventually this fragile white woman, born to aristocracy, but doing the right thing, it was too much for her. And at the age of 43, she took her own life with a bottle of sleeping pills and left a note saying, "I won't be a bother to anyone anymore." So I've been talking to my white friends about history. And of course, they've been telling me, "Joseph Wooten, you look back too much. Why are you always looking back? Why are you always looking back?" And we look back so that we understand where we are. Because today, another thing I just realized, today there's a woman in jail. And her crime was she got out of prison. Black people who have older relatives know how important it is to vote. She voted in the 2016 election in Texas, but she was formerly incarcerated, and she didn't know that she wasn't allowed to vote in Texas. So she votes, she gets there, she's surprised to see her name's not on the voter roll. So she fills out a provisional ballot where they can look later to see the validity of your vote, because voting is important. Well, when they found out she was incarcerated, there's some fine print that says if you vote knowingly that you're not supposed to, it's a 5-year prison sentence. So they sentenced her to all of 5 years. She's in jail right now in Texas. Crystal Mason is her name. In the same county, there was a judge, pled guilty to getting a bunch of fake names to the ballot so that he could be on the ballot to be voted in as judge. That white judge in the state of Texas today got 2 years. And when he got 2 years, but that 2 years got turned into 5 years probation. So the white judge who pleads guilty to fake signatures for voting is walking free, and a black woman who voted by mistake is behind bars. That's the reason it's important to know your history so you understand your present, because the present is just history that's not in the past yet. It's important for us to understand it. It's important for us to embrace it. It's important for us to know that our path forward has always involved all people. I'm encouraged because young people this younger generation is the least racist that we've had so far. We have an opportunity, but it's important for people our age to give them context. So that's it. And Kim, I appreciate you for having me on, and I'll try not to go.
Wow. You know what? This is such incredible information. This is the young lady that you were referencing,
Yes.
Crystal Mason in Texas. So I popped her picture, and I think this is a family picture we were able to find. And then obviously you referenced this young lady as well.
Yeah.
And Juliet Hampton Morgan. And that's the bust in the situation during the time that she was fighting for other people's rights, Rosa Parks. And we know Harriet Tubman. So thank you so much for being on as our historian and expert today, as well as you are our musical expert. So we know you're definitely going to play us out with something. So get your mind right.
Okay.
Tell them you're part of the Wooten Brothers band. Tell them real quick about the two bands that you play with. And then we're going to our experts, which is Courtney and Mai Tai. Get ready.
All right. I come from a musical family. I got 4 brothers. Five brothers. We were called the Wooten Brothers. We had a record in the mid-'80s. We signed to Arista Records the same time they signed Whitney Houston. My brother played drums on Whitney's first single. I sang on Whitney's first album. I also have a book. It's called It All Matters. You can get it on Amazon. I play with the Steve Miller Band right now. I joined the Steve Miller Band in 1993. It'll be 28 years in this month. It'll be 28 years.
Wow.
So that's it. I'm a musician trying to make the world better with music and knowledge.
Well, I'm definitely going to put your information up as Jay Wooten Soul on Instagram and Twitter, so you all can stay connected with him on Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to pop over. Let's get Mai Tai and Courtney over beside each other on the screen. Let's see. Okay, I can't put both of you like that, so you two take it away.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Kim, first of all, I want to thank you for the platform. I want everybody to see the I Am Watching Kim Jacobs shirt. I'm watching the Kim Jacobs Show shirt.
Wait. You know I got to put you front and center for that. Don't play. I forget you got your shirt. Let's see.
I love it in the yellow. I told you whenever I saw it in the yellow, I know you said you had some other colors coming in, but I said I like the yellow. The yellow pops. So we got our shirt on. We're ready to go. We've already shared it with all these communities, these different communities. So the panel has been amazing. Mother Lofton, Sister Vicky, Joseph, Sean, everybody has been amazing. And I really love to hear you speak, Joseph. The way that you articulate, it's almost like music in words, almost how you articulate. So you kind of talked about the history of transitioning from Black history to women's history. We kind of wanted to do the same thing, except for we wanted to think about celebrating the woman, right? So you talked about the past and you know where we came from, but now we're going to talk about the future and how do we really celebrate our women. It's almost like the woman has over the years has not been in her rightful place. Like we say the woman is supposed to be on a man's side, but for some reason the woman has always been a little bit behind. So we want to really celebrate and push our women up and make sure that we put our queens where they're supposed to be. So we're talking about self-care, and we're talking about what are some ways that we can celebrate our women. And I shared an article regarding some self-care and some ways. And I'll just start it off. Like, I know, like with my wife, there's one way that she really enjoys for me to celebrate her, and that's a foot rub, and, so all the guys that are out there, take the time. And it's not just like a monthly thing. I mean, this is like something that you can do really at any given time, but my wife, she really appreciates it. She works really hard, and she has a very stressful job. And I think it's a combination of the contact, hand to feet. So it's kind of like that closeness that's there. And then it pretty much, it makes her very, very relaxed. So, fellas, do it. Take the time, spend some time on your lady's feet, rub those feet real good. She's probably going to go to sleep. And, so put in the comments if it's something, ladies, if there's something that you would really like to see your significant other celebrate you on, definitely take the time to put that in the comments. And then once you put it in the comments, make sure you get your husband to look at those comments so that they can see what those are. And then they could go ahead and subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show too. Boom. That's a good way to get them in, right, Kim?
All I want to do, I'm trying to take a picture of you with the t-shirt on screenshots again.
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second, then I'll put your name back up. Let me see. I mean, yes, I'm very much want my feet rubbed, but I want to get a picture of you. Okay, go ahead. Yes, right. Rub the feet, subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show, tell your spouse to look at the comments and all that good stuff.
100.
Ahead,
100. And I'll pass it to Mai. I mean, like I said, we shared an article that there's some things that you can do. One of the other things that they talked about was joint self-care. And basically what that basically just means is finding something that you and your significant other enjoy doing, and that could be going for a walk. It could be, my wife and I, we like to go play tennis, so just taking that time and just spending that time. There's a number of things that you can do, but I'm going to pass it over to Mai so she can go ahead and share some things about self-care as well.
Hello there. Watch out for those feet rubs because it leads to other things.
Yes, Lord. You better believe 5 babies so you can get the feet rubbed on you.
So the thing that I love that my husband does for me is to take the kids so that they can leave me alone so I can do whatever the heck that I want. I nap, read my book, go for my walk, So like that's the best gift that you can give your lady, is to take care of the kids and give them the time to just do whatever they want to do. So, and then he buys me chocolate, keto chocolate, so chocolate and time. And
You can't go wrong with chocolate. Yeah, get the
Never.
chocolate in there.
and so for the tip from the article, is to give your partner, make time for your partner's self-care. So meaning, it's kind of on the same line, like my husband likes music. He likes to go to a record store and comic store. So that's my gift to him, is that, I will take care of the kids. You just go for an hour or two and just do your thing. Like this is your time. I don't care what you do. Just go and decompress, because oftentimes, especially during these times when we're stuck in the house, it's work, it's family, and then you don't have any time to care for yourself. So giving each other the freedom to just have time to do nothing if they want to, just whatever time it is, and you take care of the responsibilities that's on them. It's like, hey, and then they'll reciprocate for you. And it's just so nice to be able to take time to breathe and not have to deal with anything or any demands. So that's my tip for the day.
This is some excellent stuff. So many people are commenting. They're like going in. They're like, yes, Lord. That part right there. Definitely love the honeydew list. I'm really enjoying the show. Thank you, Neff, for tuning in today. Definitely love the honeydew list. Let's see. Oh, and Tissy says she liked that yellow shirt, Courtney. Okay, yes, love them foot massages. Lots of great comments that came in. Listen, thank you so much, Mai Tai, and thank you so much, Courtney. I want you all to make sure you follow them on do we put all of your contact? I have your contact information stored, so I'm going to pull up your contact information because you come on every week, which is a great thing. So you all are outstanding experts. Let's see, Courtney Wellness. You can definitely follow Courtney Wellness Companion on social media. You also can stay connected with him on iCourtney.com. And the phone number is 724-713-4118, or you can go to iCourtney with 2e's.com. Also, today's episode sponsor is, in addition to the previous sponsor, we have another episode sponsor, which is Hunter and Everidge Law Firm. You can reach them at www.hunter-everidge.com. They're located in the Charlotte, North Carolina area on Monroe Road. Phone number is 704-377-9157. Now, if you want to inbox them, you can inbox them right on Facebook and share your story with them to determine if they can help with your situation. Is Hunter and Everidge right on Facebook. You can follow them there. Now, when you're talking with them, I know they're interested in you reaching out if you're dealing with an injury that's no fault of your own, or you're applying for Social Security benefits or disability. Make sure you reach out to them and let me share with you their commercial.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everidge. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Let Hunter and Everidge help you, and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. So all of our experts today, we got through all of these. I thought that was just absolutely phenomenal. Great information has been shared. Listen, if you all have not subscribed to the Kim Jacobs Show, make sure you take a moment to do so. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and you'll be kept right in step with everything that's been going on. Let's see. I did have one little tip to share with you myself. I'm trying to infuse sometimes I don't get to share a tip that often. So hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor, and I am excited to share this brief tip with you today. Have you ever wondered why 24 hours, all of us have the same exact amount of time in a given day, but guess what? Some people seem to get so much accomplished and others, You don't know where time went, right? Well, today I want to share with you a few tips that I believe could help you immediately. Number one, I want you to immediately start identifying and assessing where you currently spend your time. Pull out a blank notebook and write down every single moment how you're spending time in that day. Then I want you to identify where you can officially kind of shave off some of that time, whether it's maybe by DVRing a program, or maybe it's through being able to officially call a person back at a set specific time frame and getting all of your phone calls in during that block of time. There are going to be some creative things that you can do to better manage your time, that 24 hours that you have in a given day. Then the next thing that I want you to do is identify what are your must-dos and do those things earlier in the day. If you do those things earlier in the day, you will get your must-dos accomplished, but that still leaves some things that must be carried over. So we're going to encourage you today to make sure that you immediately look to carry over some things to the next day that you simply will not have time to accomplish in that 24-hour block of time. So if you apply the things that I'm sharing with you today, I believe that you will have a better use of your 24 hours, that you have been blessed to accomplish greatness. That's my tip for today. And I am Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. I ask that you subscribe to my YouTube channel right on The Kim Jacobs Show. And also, if you'd like to learn how to create your own show from scratch, you can go to kimjacobsconsulting.com. Thank you so much for this moment of balance. All right, everybody. So as we close out, Joseph Wooten is going to close us out today. On Monday, we have again, great shows lined up for you. We're going to be having some great guests every single day next week. Definitely going to be talking about marriage and caution. Marriage is in progress. That's Vanessa's going to be on talking about that. And then on Tuesday, we're talking about how to break free from childhood depression. Wow, we need to talk about that. So that's going to be happening. But right now at 12 something, I have a friend that's on, and she's with The Eyewitness Show. So when you jump off of this program, go over to The Eyewitness Show with Nikki George, and she is there doing her first debut episode. So make sure you check that out during your lunch break. The Eyewitness Show is every Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. And I think that's all I can think to say right now. So thank you to all of the experts, everybody. And also, did Courtney jump off? Yeah. Okay. So guys, Joseph, play us out. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Let's see, Joseph, play us out. Oh, why do I keep having you muted over there? Let's see.
Today I feel peaceful. Today I feel calm. Things that seem major today seem so small. I've had to stand on my own, but sometimes I fall. Today I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. 'Cause I've seen the sadness and I've seen the pain. I've lived the madness and I'm not sure who to blame. Tonight I just need your essence so I can stand tall. The light of your incandescence, 'cause I'm not worried at all. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Tonight I just need your essence so I can stand tall. The light of your incandescence,